Hi friends, so today we are going to be doing a illustration for the Route 66. I wanted to incorporate kind of like perspective, which we've touched on before, but I wanted to use the classic road perspective. So it'll be a street driving towards the horizon line, but then on the sides we're going to include anything that you guys think of with the Route 66. So like think of old signs, because Route 66 is like a historic thing. And part of it is still drivable, obviously, but some parts are closed off. But historically, it was like a big deal because it was the first one you could go all the way across. So think of the historic signs that might have been there. Think of like historic like bed and breakfast or like motels, like roadside motels. Anything like that you want to illustrate on the side. And I'm going to show you just kind of like a really simple version of it, and you guys can add to it. You could make it even more exciting, but I was thinking of doing the Airstream just driving down the street. So I'm going to show you how to do that really quickly, and then you guys can kind of take it and make it your own. But I do want to make the requirements so that you have a sign for Route 66. Obviously, we want the viewer to know that it's Route 66. That's the biggest point of our project. So including a sign, a historic sign, and then at least one building that you would think of that you would see historically along the Route 66. And if you wanted to add more cars or anything like that, you totally could. And I think that's pretty much it for the requirements. I also like to remind you to fill the page. So there shouldn't be any like blank spots, like no white page left over when you're done. Everything should be colored in, at least with sky or ground or road or whatever, completely filled in. So let's get started.
Okay, so to start, we want to have a straight line across the page. So you could choose to put it right in the middle, or you can move it up a little bit and have less sky. For this project, I try to put it somewhere close to the middle, a little bit higher up, just so we have like a middle space to work with, like a lot of road and a lot of sky, because you're going to be adding some buildings and things like that. But I would say like 2/3 of the way up is probably plenty. And for this one, you can just use a ruler or any piece of paper. This one doesn't go all the way to the edges, so I'm just gonna kind of do a light trace. And then this one's gonna go all the way to the edge, and then all the way to the edge. And then for the road, we're going to include, it's gonna go right in the middle. So again, you don't have to have a ruler to kind of guess where the middle is. I think it's kind of like there. But I want my road to kind of, the wider you make your road, the more it's going to like look shorter, and I want my road to be kind of like a little bit longer looking, so I have more room on the side to add my signs. So I'm gonna do, it's still gonna go to like a point, but it's not gonna be as extreme. So maybe like here, and then I'm gonna mirror that. So I'm gonna want to flip my actual paper to the other side so that I can come to this side when I do that. And that's gonna give me my sky and my road, and then all the things that you would see like on the highway. So normally you might see like sidewalks and like buildings, but on Route 66 it's gonna be pretty open. So we're gonna like leave all this to be like filled in with landscape and things like that. Then you would have your dashes, and we're gonna fill the road in black. So we wanna create our dashes to be a little bit short and like wide, because we're gonna leave those little spaces white. But then what happens as you get further to the back, they actually get smaller as well. So you're leaving the white spots in there. So you could do like a little line like on this side, and then kind of trace that. So like it's gonna get bigger, bigger, biggest, and finally the biggerest. Okay. What I want to do is I want to put Ramona right here, kind of like looking like it's going that way. So you're really just going to see the back of Ramona. It's going to be kind of like a little sideways, a little view of the back. She takes up most of the street. So we're going to get like the whole back view of Ramona. And we're going to keep going.
Okay, so you can see I started with Ramona, and I'm going to go ahead and look up any Airstream just for my reference image, and then add in those details of the back window. But because of the perspective, you will see a little bit of the car or truck in front of you, so I just looked up a reference image for that as well. So the Route 66 sign is kind of a cool shape. I draw the box
first, and then I fill it in. So I do a swoosh, a wing, and then a W. And I'll break that down again for you later. And then I'm just adding a motel. So remember that everything is going to point towards that center line. So my motel building is going towards the center, and then I'm going to add a little diner with a street. And you can see I'm just adding those angles. So you can look at those buildings, see how both of the buildings, like the roof of the building goes towards our center point and the bottom of our building goes towards that center point. You could fill it in with plants. You could do words. I made the motel 3D as well. So you could add in extra like block lettering to make it be like a neon light, things like that. I kept the motel super simple with just doors and windows and a little street to pull into. And then we're going to color this in together, but you want to outline everything first so that you have really solid boundary lines for all of your designs. You don't have to do the exact same buildings as me. These are just my practice ones. And then when you fill it in, you're going to outline everything and then go up and down so that the road coloring in it follows the same direction. Okay, I filmed this in time lapse, but first I draw a box, and then I draw a swoosh in towards the center, and then a flare on the top, and then a flare on the top. And you can see it again over here on this side. So above the motel sign, I draw a little box, and I swoosh in kind of like an S, and then I add those two straight lines at the top, and then a W in the middle. Okay, guys, enjoy drawing, and let me see what it looks like when you have it all colored in. Bye!